So there we go. Hi, Tracy. Many thanks for joining me, taking time out from your busy schedule. And I know you are really busy with the 6th Hour podcast, and some of the guests you've had absolutely amazing. But tell us a little bit about the 6th Hour, can you please? What was the inspiration and the thought
Yeah,
behind
sure.
it?
I think, well, first of all, it's that comment, the 6th hour, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was an extremely poignant um, statement throughout the whole of Making a Murderer, and
Hmm.
was a huge indication of Brendan's innocence for me. And we were in lockdown. I'm not a YouTuber. I don't like being in front of a camera, as
I'm gonna say
many
I
people.
am privileged.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't find me comfortable, So I thought, why not do a podcast? I want to explore and have conversations with people that know what they're talking about, and help educate myself, but at the same time share that education with everybody else. So I've been extremely fortunate at the generosity of people to share their time with me. And I know I'm under no illusion. It's not about me. It's because these people are supporting Brendan, and it's another way that they can do that. So yeah, an absolute labor of love. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've had some. I think all the main players, both in Stephen Rendon's case, but also you've extended further into looking at really deeply into the whole sort of as you were saying just earlier, the whole sort of interrogation, the whole wrongful I'm going to say wrongful conviction that comes as a result of false confessions, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We get far too
Yeah.
many of them.
The second season's more, the first season, I broke down the various elements that contributed directly to Brendan's conviction.
Yeah.
The second season, what I'm trying to do, and I'm halfway through it. I'm in a bit of a couple of quiet weeks while I'm interviewing and having conversations with some people before I upload them again. But the second season is more about solutions, like what do
Hmm.
we do now?
Yeah.
Like, how do we stop this?
Hmm.
So I'm very fortunate to have some people share some pretty insightful stuff coming up, and they have so far. I was extremely lucky to speak with Marsha Levick, as you know, the director of the Juvenile Law Centre, to touch on juvenile justice in America. That was a great privilege. And
Hmm.
also Dean Brian Galini, who wrote this incredible series for the Faculty Lounge. So I don't know if you've read it, but I think it was
I
around
should check it out.
2018. Oh, absolutely, because he breaks the case against Brendan apart.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, so I was extremely fortunate to have himself. And then, Dean was very, very
Yeah.
generous in spending some time with me. God love him. It was it was well over 2 hours.
Wow.
Um, we had a good chat about Melbourne and whatever. Extremely lovely man, and very giving of his time and of his experience. And my absolute favorite lady that I've discovered in the last couple of years, Professor Michelle Levine, who
Yeah.
uh, I I have an incredible amount of respect for. She's formidable, she's fierce, and she's so funny. So
Yeah.
funny.
She was one that
So
did the really did look at the well, I'll let you explain it. Again, to do with Brendan's case, she particularly looked at the trying to use the right word. It was
the
the
linguistics of the
yes,
case.
that's right.
Yeah.
How they tried
Yeah.
to trip him up and all that kind of stuff and
Yeah, yes, she's
bamboozle
quite
him.
incredible. Yeah, she's quite incredible, and she's extremely passionate as
Hmm.
well about Brendan's injustice, which is again, it's a formidable mix to have somebody as uh, you know as informed, being that passionate is only a bonus for Brendan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so very fortunate indeed, and I have some extremely interesting gentlemen coming up in the next few weeks that I'm looking forward to, and looking
Well, and
forward to sharing.
no idea who that could be, but getting back to it's. I find it fascinating that there are so many people that have looked at Brendan's case and have written stuff about it. You're mentioning people that I haven't heard of, but I mean,
Mm.
I've read so many. I've managed to get hold of most of the books that are out there to do with this case. I mean, it's so big. You wonder
Mm.
why on earth didn't SCOTUS take it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so annoying.
It's so annoying, and it's so frustrating as well. You look at Laura recently has done a wrongful conviction episode on Fraser v. Cup, basically. So it's about, police being able to lie to suspects. And she's written a piece with a couple of other individuals as well. And it just struck me, right? Like, I've spoken to Dean Galini, who
Mm,
he teaches a course using Brendan's case.
hmm
I've spoken with Dave Thompson from Wicklander Zalowski, who also uses Brendan's case.
Yeah.
I've spoken with Professor Michelle Levine, who
hmm
speaks to the National, I'm not sure the name of it, the National Defenders Union or something or other, right? But they all use Brendan's case as an
Yeah.
instructive, um, and it's out there being used in a way to inform the next generation of lawyers, which is fantastic. Um, but at the same time, he still sits there.
Mm.
He still sits there, which is just, it's. I can't imagine the frustration for Laura and Stephen. You know.
Okay. Well, what I do know is that yes, we haven't managed to release Brendan and Steve yet, but I do know that Tracy managed to fix it for the dude to meet Steve Drizzen.
Mhm.
that
Yeah, that was
was that.
such a lovely moment.
Yeah.
It really was a lovely moment. Um, I remember coming up to the group of you
Yeah.
with it,
Yeah.
and it had been because my son had brought his girlfriend in the end, so he didn't want to go and meet Stephen and Laura without her. So it was my husband who said, "Go and ask the guys," and I
Yeah.
said, "Yeah, yeah." So when I approached you, you were the one who said, Richard,
Yeah.
and we were walking down the stairs, and I was suitably nervous, I thought, because I have a lot of respect for Stephen and Laura. I was
Yes.
very much looking forward to it, and the dude was just walking alongside me, right? And I'm like 5'1", and Richard's like 7 foot. Um,
Bigfoot.
and yeah, so we were walking down to meet them, and Richard said, "What are you nervous for?" And I was like, "Because I get nervous. I get nervous." Um, and then we went and we met them, and it was just a really joyous moment. It was
Yeah.
a really joyous moment, and I know that Stephen has had a lot of respect for Richard, so it was extremely lovely. And Richard loved talking with David Rudolph as well. He spent quite a bit of time talking to David, and was absolutely thrilled when Stephen put the t-shirt on for the photo. You could just see his face. He was absolutely thrilled. So it was a lovely moment to share with him, for sure.
What the dude remembers in particular was the fact that, as you say, having been speaking with David Rudolph, turned to Steve Drizzen. Steve Drizzen just said, "You must be Eric Cozy."
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
how awesome is that? That it's not just this is another guy who's
No,
there to see me. He knew exactly who Eric
yes.
Cozy.
Oh,
That Richard.
absolutely.
A lot of us knew that he was Richard because of the fact that he was on Facebook, as Richard McAdam. But that's how I first realized it was one of the same person. But
Mm,
yeah,
yeah,
this is Eric Cozy.
yeah. No, it
Wow.
was. It was a particularly lovely moment to share
Yeah.
with him, and I'm glad that I did get to share that with Richard.
Yeah.
I think, if we wind the clock back, 2016, I was in chats with Richard before he started doing the YouTubes.
Yeah.
And there were a few people that were encouraging him to do that. So started building up his confidence as time went on. And, we saw recently that, he was magnificent in what he did. He was loud, he was brash, he was committed,
Yes.
he was all of those things in the very best of ways.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm going to say, yeah. All the worst things about Americans: loud and big and brash, and that was the best thing about him, wasn't it? He was.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
But yet at the same time, very humble, very humble fella. He was. That there were times when you would be chatting away to him, and you'd realize, yeah, and particularly his auntie said, yeah, very humble fella. Knew that he was where he came from, his background, and everything. And I always say that the thing that impressed me most about it was the fact that he admitted that as a teenager going into his early 20s, he could have been like so many people, kids of his age, drawn into narcotics and drugs and all that kind of stuff, and then just said, no, I'm not having anything to do with this, and just turned his life around and got on with supporting Stephen Brendan. Tracy, I'm really looking forward to having you. I think we're going to see you 2 or 3 times during the course of next Sunday. So it's going to be plenty of coffee for you, I think.
Plenty of English breakfast tea.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, many thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you again soon. And as I say, looking forward to next Sunday.
Yeah, me too. Thanks for asking me.
Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah, we had to have you on board.
I appreciate it, Paul.
Cheers. Catch you soon.
Thank you.
Bye for now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.